What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of 10K on the Bay. Today, I have an awesome guest, Josh. Why don't you introduce yourself? I know you're with Fitshipper. We're going to go over some tips on how to save money shipping on eBay.
Hi, I'm Josh Newell, and I'm the founder of Fitshipper Labels and also flippertools.com. Some people might be familiar with as well.
Awesome, cool. So, there's a lot of urban myths and a lot of things going around with shipping. I think we could just maybe clarify it. So let's just start with when people are talking about the eBay shipping discount. What are they referring to?
So there's something people call the eBay shipping discount. It's kind of like an eBay marketing thing to, let you think that you're getting a great deal when they're charging you your final value fees on your shipping. In reality, what you're getting as a regular eBay seller is called commercial base rates. It's a discount rate through USPS. It's very standard. If you're a stamps.com subscriber, you get that automatically. If you ship on Etsy, it's the same discount. Everybody that any labels printed online get commercial base rates, that discount level. And it's off of retail. So when you see that save 22%, you're saving 22% off retail, not off of anything else. So what you pay at the post office.
So I have a question. I don't know if this is related or not, but on the eBay label specifically, it says powered by Pitney Bowes. Does that mean they're using a third party to ship packages through?
Yeah, so Pitney Bowes is the company that has the license to resell postage, and eBay's utilizing their back end. So there's in the past there were only 3 companies in the whole world that could print postage, that you could buy postage from USPS. They're authorized resellers of shipping labels. And before very recently, that was stamps.com, Indicia, and Pitney Bowes. Those were the only 3. Now there's more.
Very cool. Well, now let's talk about the difference between commercial base and commercial plus shipping.
Okay, so USPS has 2 common discount tiers. One's called commercial base. Everybody gets that. The next one's called commercial plus. Commercial plus, to get it, you have to have a higher volume. If you go directly through USPS to get that. If you're an eBay top-rated seller, that is the special shipping discount you get through eBay. You have to be a top-rated seller. Then you get commercial plus rates, which are a lot harder to find. Like stamps.com, you can't get those unless you ship so many thousand packages a year. And that is the rate that Fitshipper Labels comes with as well. So if you ship through eBay labels and you want to ship at commercial plus rates, you have to be a top-rated seller, or you can be an Etsy seller or not a top-rated seller, and you can use Fitshipper Labels, and you automatically get that. It's basically an extra 3% off of commercial base rates for priority mail.
Got you. And this is great for people who are not top-rated seller. They can immediately get that discount. Is that right?
Yeah, immediately get 3% off regular and flat rate priority. There is no commercial plus rate for regional priority or first class or parcel select or media. So just on regular and flat rate priority, you get an extra 3% discount off the regular online rate.
Okay. So I have a couple of questions with that. First of all, I think regional boxes are sometimes confusing because there's A and B, and then I think there's also a C that's like grandfathered out of the system. Do you want to spend maybe a second going over the regional discounts?
Yeah, sure. And I'll send you a link where people can read all about this on the flippertools.com site. I wrote an article.
Cool.
So there used to be a regional C box. That doesn't exist anymore. You don't need to worry about it. So there's an A and a B, and then there's 2 different versions of each. There's a top load and a side load, A1, A2, B1, B2. They're roughly, A1 small, B is slightly bigger. And the rates for regional boxes, people get really confused. It's a bad name. It doesn't matter if they're close to you, far from you, it doesn't matter. It's priced by the distance, and that's it. So instead of having to worry about, is this a 3 pound, a 4 pound, a 5 pound, it's a regional A. And then the price is based on how far is it going? Is it going from New York to California, or is it going to the next state? And that's why it's called regional. So it's basically a rate that's determined by the box and the distance. And regional A boxes are priced, they're pegged at what you normally would pay for a 2 pound package. So if your packages under a pound, you wouldn't want to use a regional A box because then you're paying for 2 pounds. But if your package is 3 pounds or 4 pounds, or it goes up to, for regional A, goes up to 15 pounds, you can ship at the same rate. You'll save a bunch of money using regional A. Regional B is a little bit different now. It used to be 4 pounds. Now it's 5 pounds. If you're top rated seller, it's actually closer to 6 pounds. It's not really that great of a deal anymore. But that regional B boxes are pegged at the commercial base 5 pound priority rate.
So, quick question on the regional boxes. From my understanding, you cannot just get them at the post office. You have to order them. Is that the case?
Yeah, I think if your post office happens to have one, it's on accident. There's something, they're only for commercial shippers, so you have to order them from USPS as well. Some other, they have lots and lots of different boxes available online. In the post office, most of them have small flat rate, medium, large, and an envelope. Regular envelopes may be legal, and that's it. You want padded flat rate envelopes. If you want box 4, box 7, box 1095, all the different boxes you can possibly get, you have to order them from USPS.
Do you recommend that, when people are learning how to ship things, that maybe order one of every box, or do you think that's overkill?
I did, but I'm I'm a huge shipping nerd, and then I wrote a program that would help me figure out which of those, I've got like 20 different boxes now. So which of those boxes is the best one? And that was a thing originally called Fitshipper. Fitshipper, the original calculator, it's available on flippertools.com. When I was first starting to sell on eBay, I got really frustrated because I would pack a box up, I'd have it all taped up, and before I went to ship it, I'd realize if I just put it in this other box, maybe I put it in a regional box, it would have been $5 cheaper. Then I was torn. It's like, do I spend the time? Is my time worth $5 to rip it all back open and repackage it? And that became kind of maddening for me. So I wrote a little program for myself, and you put in the dimensions of the item, and then Fitshipper, the original calculator, will tell you which of the boxes is the cheapest one, that's the smallest one that'll fit in based on your criteria.
Wow, so that's super cool.
Yeah.
So that's how I want to get into the nuts and bolts really quick, which is a lot of people ask this question, and I'm glad that I have you on the show because you can kind of explain what exactly goes into the shipping cost.
So I see, I'm in a lot of the different Facebook groups about reselling, looking for people, that have questions, or originally I was looking for new ideas for flipper tools, like what kind of software can I create that would help people out. But I'm in all these different groups and I see the same questions all the time. I shipped this 10-pound package and it costs $20. And then I shipped a 10-pound package and today it costs $30. Why? I can't figure it out. And people, have an idea in their head of what the price should be, but they have to realize it's actually really complicated because the weight matters, the distance matters, the speed matters. So if you're going like a parcel select versus priority, and the size matters, and the size matters more today than ever, especially now that SmartPost has moved to dimensional weight. So weight, distance, size, speed, and the carrier are all the different factors that go in to the price. So if they're not all the same, the price is going to be different from this package to the next package.
So I have a question a little bit off topic. We'll come back to it. I see the post office now delivering on Sunday. So is that Amazon outsourcing the post office, or what is that exactly?
Yeah, from what I understand, Amazon has a special deal with USPS to deliver their packages on Sunday. I have heard anecdotes that people have gotten non-Amazon packages on Sunday. Maybe USPS is like, while we're out there, we might as well deliver this thing instead of waiting until tomorrow. But from what I understand, the Sunday delivery is driven exclusively by Amazon, some arrangement they've worked out.
So the commercial base and commercial plus, they apply to flat rate and priority, right?
Commercial base, commercial plus, flat rate. They apply to priority, regular priority, and flat rate priority, yeah.
And so, but SmartPost and like medium mail or first class mail, is there a different commercial price?
There used to be, well, there's always a retail price, right? So there's the price you'd pay at the post office. And then for first class mail and parcel select and all, media and all the various other ones, there's maybe not for, I'm not sure about media anyway. there is a commercial base rate. So there's a retail rate and a commercial base rate. There used to be a commercial plus rate for first class, but the USPS has been slowly chipping away at the commercial plus discount used to be much bigger than it is now. So they're really trying to get rid of that and move everybody to negotiated agreements where you have to, sit down and deal with them and make a private, exclusive deal no one else knows about, instead of having these big, broad commercial discounts they give to everybody.
So this is an interesting topic because I have seen commercial sellers negotiate their own rates. So is that
Mhm.
relatively common as you see e-commerce sellers get larger? Do they negotiate their own rates? Because I've heard once you hit 200 to 500 packages a day, you can at least get a return phone call.
Yeah, I'd say especially with FedEx and UPS, the volumes you have to do to start, getting better than, the give me discount. If you just sign up for a FedEx account, they'll give you a discount off retail. It won't be as good as eBay's discount that they pass through to you. And I have one customer that ships a lot, like quite a lot, and he has, he gets Smart Post through FedEx himself. He doesn't need eBay for that, but you have to do quite a lot of volume, 100 to 200 packages a day. That's, I can't math in my head that good, but it's that's getting substantial, and you have a lot more options at that point. Although I have heard from some people that were working deals with USPS, even though we were talking about large organizations, they said the cubic rates that I have advertised for Fitshipper were actually lower than what the negotiated rates were that they were working on. So I thought that was interesting. That
Wow.
this is like a very big organization. I can't say who it is, but they have enough volume that you would think that they'd get some better rates. But cubic rate is pretty, it's a very large discount depending on the situation.
Great. So that leads perfectly into the next question, which is what is cubic shipping? I mean, this is probably it's foreign to a lot of eBay or online
Yeah,
sellers what this concept is.
yeah. So everybody that's been doing this for a while knows that there's regular priority weight. It's by weight and distance. There's regional. It's by the box and the distance. There's flat, which means it's just by the box. Doesn't matter how heavy. And what people don't know is that there's a fourth kind of priority mail, and you don't know about it because you can't get it. You have to ship 50,000 packages a year priority mail in order to get cubic rates from USPS. If you were to go on your own and try to negotiate, they say, well, sign this thing as guarantees that you'll ship at least 50,000 packages this year. So most people don't know about that because most people don't ship 50K packages a year. So what cubic rate is that it's based on the size and the distance, not the weight, not the box. It doesn't matter which box you use. You can use your own brown boxes, and it's based on the size. You don't have to fit into an arbitrary size box like a regional A box has got a volume, but maybe your item would fit in that volume, but it won't fit in that box. So with cubic rate is if you can fit it in a box that's the same volume, then you can get that's discounted price, kind of like a regional box, but not really. Doesn't really matter which box you use as long as it's within a certain amount of volume, right?
So it's volume and distance based.
That's right. Yeah, size, volume, length times width times height. That's
Gotcha.
cubic inch. That's cubic inches, and then it's based on tiers, divided into tenths of cubic feet.
So we have Paul DeLeo in the chat. Awesome. Yeah, I think he's a CPA background, so he loves using Fitshipper, and he says, "Is it possible, or when will Fitshipper offer UPS or FedEx discounts? Is that a thing?"
Mm. Hi, Paul. Yeah, so you can get your own UPS account or your own FedEx account and link it through Fitshipper labels, which allow you to print your a FedEx label for your eBay order. Except that unless you ship a pretty high volume, you're better off shipping it through eBay with their FedEx discount because their FedEx discount is okay. It's pretty good. It's probably better than what most small eBay sellers can get. Maybe at 100 packages, I'm not really sure. You'd have to talk to a sales rep. Maybe at 100 packages or 200 a day, you might be able to get a better discount than the eBay deal. But To answer Paul's, I think what Paul's asking is, will I be able to get you a better FedEx discount than you normally would? And the answer to that right now is no. Like that's not the way FedEx likes to work. So they want you to have an account with them, and they deal with you, and then you can connect that to Fitshipper. But I can't, at least not yet. Haven't figured out a way to like get FedEx to give me a special rate I can pass on to you.
So Amazon Seller 99 is saying there are some services which offer dimensional rate shipping, like TrueShip, but you need to ship more than 100 units per month.
Yeah.
To make it worth it.
To make it
It's
worth
interesting.
it. Yeah. So so there's more than a couple now. It's getting slightly more it's getting more competitive for me for sure. In the past, I'm not familiar with TrueShip, but I am familiar with like ShipStation. And ShipStation does have cubic rates, but I think, don't quote me on it, but last time I remember checking, they did mark them up slightly, like a few percent. They weren't passing it directly. And then they have, their monthly plan is slightly more expensive depending on which they have like a limited tier. So with Fitshipper, the way it came about was I got into building my calculator to help on Flipper tools, and I stumbled upon a way to get cubic rates. And I've got an aunt and uncle, they're full-time eBayers, and I was doing part-time eBay. And I was like, man, wouldn't it be awesome if like regular Joe eBay sellers could get these amazing rates? And I found a way to do it. All I have to do is build a service around it to let people get access to it. And that's how I decided to build Fitshipper labels, was to give people this discount. So long story short is I've tried to make the intro pricing to get an account as cheap as possible, like as cheap as I can possibly make it. Our plans start at $5 a month for the basic plan. And then I don't mark up anything. Like I don't make any money if you ship 1,000 packages or 100 packages. It doesn't matter to me. And I don't mark the rates up at all. So the only money I make is off the $5 a month, the service costs. And I did that on purpose because I wanted everybody to be able to get access to it if they wanted it to.
That is super cool. And I think it's super admirable and amazing that you're basically the founder of this company, but you're also a seller. So you have the background of, you scratched your own itch basically.
Yeah. And I think it comes through because at least for eBay, I can say without, trying to toot my horn too much, that the integration for eBay with Fitshipper labels is much more geared towards people that sell on eBay. Like everything that was always annoying about using eBay labels, anything that was ever annoying about using stamps.com when I used it for selling on eBay, I fixed it. So, there's things like little tiny things you would never think of, like the seller notes, if they're the buyer notes. If somebody leaves you a note on your eBay order, like please ship this by Tuesday, or please don't, put a packing slip in that. On eBay, I think it was okay to see it. On stamps.com, you couldn't see it. So if you shipped everything through stamps.com, you might not get the seller note. So in Fitshipper, it brings that up to the top. You can see it really easily. It puts a sticky note on the actual order line. So little things like that. Being able to, on eBay labels, it was always hard because in some places they had the eBay user's user ID, and in some places they had their name. And if you're trying to pack an order and you're looking at one thing, it's got their real name, and another thing, it's got their ID. And I was like, does this match up? Are you going to put the right thing in the right box? So with Fitshipper, it always puts them together. If someone's name is there and their eBay ID is always together. So just tiny optimizations like that you'd only know about if you sold on eBay for a little while.
This is awesome because Amazon Star 99 in the chat is saying he saves up to $2 per priority package, 2 pounds and up. That's insane.
From using TrueShip, or
no, just using dimensional weight, period.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
I haven't run in a while, but I have like a little script I can run through the back end of Fitshipper to see what someone paid versus what they would have paid. And at the time I last ran it, the most someone had ever saved on shipping through Fitshipper was $25 on one package.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, and it's very situational. Again, you've got all those dimensions: weight, distance, carrier, speed, all that. But even before SmartPost changed to dim weight, there are some cases where people would email me and say, "Hey, I shipped this for $8 through Fitshipper, and SmartPost was 10, and regular priority was 20, and FedEx Ground was 17. So it was the cheapest rate of any rate possible by several dollars." So.
So we have a question by Scott McFarland, the guy who gave me the name 10K on the Bay. What's up, Scott? He's asking, can I use a Dymo printer 4XL to print these labels?
Yeah. So right now I actually just put a special optimization just for Dymo 4XL. It prints basically on any 4x6 thermal printer. It's got an optimization for people that have zebra printers. On some shipping label services, like maybe on Amazon's labels, when you print when you print on a zebra label, the barcodes come out fuzzy and stuff like that. Some people may have noticed. So that doesn't happen in Fitshipper. It's optimized for zebra. Then I've got another setting optimized for Dymo 4XL, and I also have optimized. You've got a preset for Dymo 450 label writers on the 99019 labels. A lot of eBay sellers they have that printer is much cheaper. It's like $40, $50, $60 instead of $150, $200. So the small label printers that you would normally print FBA labels on, the Dymo 450s, Fitshipper supports those, the Dymo label writer ones, the 4XLs, zebras, and then probably just about anything else that's a standard shipping label.
I love
Although,
it.
Yeah.
So a couple more questions. Can Fitshipper be bolted on the WooCommerce or a Shopify store?
So we're going to be adding some more integrations, hopefully soon, but I can't say which ones will come first. We're probably going to look at Etsy first and then Amazon, and then eventually. What we do have, right now we have a lot of customers that are Etsy sellers, at least partially Etsy, partially eBay, and we don't have a direct integration where it'll actually pull in the order for Etsy. But what we do have is automatic address parsing. So in some shipping label systems, you have to copy the person's name and then copy their address and then copy the city and then type in the state and then copy. So in ours, you can just select the entire address at once and hit paste. It'll automatically parse the address, put it in the right boxes. It'll correct any mistakes in the spelling, or if they're the wrong city, or if they're missing an apartment number, it'll tell you, hey, you're missing an apartment number. And it does that automatically. So you literally because I sell on a WooCommerce store, so I use that all the time. And so you basically do a copy paste from WooCommerce and hit print, and there's a button that says copy your tracking number. It automatically copies it when you click on it. You paste it back into WooCommerce, and you're done. So it's not as good as automatic, but it doesn't really take that much time.
So any idea what will happen to Fitshipper when the Adyen relationship happens and eBay starts printing labels through the system? Are you gonna have to change your software?
I don't think that's going to affect much of anything really.
I don't think so either. It's gonna be invisible.
Yeah, I don't think it'll make. I mean, obviously, there's probably going to be some growing pains and some initial bugs while they're doing the switchover. Kind of like this last shipping, cycle. They had some issues through the transition, but I don't think the Adyen thing. I mean, really, all it's going to do is make it simpler. It's going to make you have one less middleman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, this is a really cool comment by Paul, which is true. It's not very often that you can talk to the CEO of the actual company. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if you guys have any questions on shipping, you can reach out to Josh directly. You can send him a DM. You can message him on Facebook. Well, actually, what would be the best way for people to reach you if they do have a question?
Yeah, so I think it's at Fitshipper on Instagram and on Twitter. Really, the easiest way to contact me is through email. So it's josh@fitshipper.com or contact@fitshipper.com for work.
You were on Scavenger Life a couple years ago. Paul said that's where he discovered you.
Yeah, they've mentioned me a couple times with Flipper tools and several other things. I have I send them information when I find out interesting stuff I know that they can talk about. I'll send it to them. So they've mentioned, especially the Flipper tools site, because we have the Etsy sold price lookup and the eBay best offer price lookup, as well as some other useful stuff like that for people that sell online.
So here's a cool plug for you. Amazon Seller 99 says TrueShip is much more expensive. It's
Yeah.
$50 a month, but it integrates with Channel Advisor. For
Yeah.
five, but for $5 a month, Fitshipper is a great deal.
Yeah, and I tell people, like, if you have like 5 eBay stores and 2 Amazon stores and an Etsy store and 3 WooCommerce sites, you should use ShipStation or something like that.
Mm,
So I definitely will, Fitshipper is not for everybody. Not everybody will save money on shipping. Some people will find that it saves them time because it's actually faster to print a label through Fitshipper than it is for eBay. But if you've got a complicated setup and you're selling thousands of things a day, use ShipStation. They've got the like more industrial strength stuff. But if if your needs are not as complicated and you want the same or better rates for shipping and less per month, then give Fitshipper a look. We have a free trial, so you can try it out.
I think everyone should try Fitshipper at least. I mean, the worst case scenario, you learn about cubic shipping. I mean, that's really the worst that can happen. So get in there, figure out how you can save some money. We're all going to ship packages that are over 2 pounds at some point that don't fit into a flat rate. So it's important just to know your options. But I want to get into a little bit of a woo-woo question with you right now on eBay, which is a lot of platforms, like let's say Amazon, they have a very easy to understand system, which is Prime, which is going to be between 1 and 4 days you'll get your package. It's pretty straightforward. It's always free. It's included in the process. On Poshmark, they charge a flat $6.95 for each package. So it's easy, in my opinion, on those two platforms to understand shipping as the buyer. On eBay, I find it extremely confusing as a buyer because on the exact same item, you'll see 3 to 4 different types of shipping. And so do you think that eBay should move to one type of shipping to make it easier for the buyer, or what's your opinion on the experience of the buyer?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe I don't know how old you are. Maybe I'm older than you. But in the past, before there was an Amazon, there was always shipping options. Do you want it fast? It costs a lot. If you want it slow, it's cheaper. And usually you got 3 choices. Do you want priority? Do you want first class, or do you want bulk mail or whatever? And so that was always really common. The other thing is that eBay does break out the shipping and handling. It says this costs this much for shipping or free shipping. They don't have to do that. They know where you live, right? They know how much it's going to cost you. So they could just put the price and not put the shipping and the handling, and they could add those two numbers together, whether it's zero for free or if it's $10 for whatever, where it's calculated. It calculates it automatically. So why don't they just show you the price? That way we don't have to worry about this woo-woo, like, is it free, $10 with free shipping or $5 with $5 shipping, which is a better deal.
Right. I just think it's confusing for buyers.
It can be. Here's the problem. This is my personal opinion. I've thought about this quite a lot because I see a lot of advice given to small eBay sellers that they have to do free shipping. Amazon does free shipping, so you have to do free shipping. Well, here's the problem. You're not Amazon, and shipping isn't free. Okay? So this is what happens if people get in trouble is they get like a big thing that weighs 20 pounds and it's free shipping, and they guesstimate or estimate. They put in the worst case scenario, or they put in the average, or they just make up a number. And then they go on Facebook and they say, I'm so sad. I sold this thing for $30 and I free shipping, and I thought it was going to cost this much, but then it cost me $40 in shipping. Now I'm -10. I'm like, okay, so here's the thing. Amazon has a warehouse in almost every state, not really, but maybe half the states now, right? How many warehouses do they have? Mm-hmm. So when they need to ship a 10-pound item, they're not shipping it from California to New York, right? They're shipping it from California to California. And so their cost is very predictable to them because they know where all the stuff is. They know how far it is from you and how much it's going to. But if you're an eBay seller and you've got your one warehouse, wherever that is, if that's your closet or you've got an actual building, and you don't know where the buyer is going to be, but you know you have to ship it from you to them. You don't have a warehouse close to them. I think that's the difference. I think that's why calculated shipping for common eBay type seller, if you can't ship it for flat rate, how can you offer a flat rate?
Mm,
If your cost is highly variable, how can you offer it at a fixed cost? You have to hope. You have to hope that it averages out in the end. And I also think that it's inefficient in a way because if a lot of people price it for the coast to coast, say it's $30 coast to coast, it's $10 close by, they put $30 shipping. Well, now they've priced themselves out of the local market, and then they wonder why they are always shipping stuff to California,
right.
across the country, because they've actually made themselves too expensive for local, people. So I've written like a little essay about this, about fixed and all this sort of stuff. So I don't know. You're right. I mean, simple is better. Free is easier. $5 flat. I mean, it makes more sense. But it depends on what you're selling. If you're selling T-shirts, they fit in a poly mailer and they're under a pound. Yeah, fine, make it free and then add it in. But if you're shipping, like I ship I sell a lot of vintage electronics. I've shipped stuff that weighed close to 70 pounds. There's no way.
Yeah, and that's absolutely true. And I guess, well, on Poshmark Dev too, the over 5 pounds is calculated and under 5 pounds is flat, probably for that very reason, because it's just so different. And as I look at eBay, it's a little bit fuzzy to me because I've only been doing eBay for a decade, but when I first started, there were no final values fees charged on the shipping part of it. And
Yeah.
so you would see odd things like $1 plus 99 shipping. And obviously they tried to combat that, and they now they charge it on the whole amount, and it's just a little bit fuzzy. It's not super straightforward.
Yeah, it isn't simple. That's why I've spent like several years of my life like writing little calculators and utilities to figure things out for people. So
That's so true.
yeah,
Oh yeah, so there's people in the chat that want to know where they can read your essay.
it's on Reddit. I'll have to
Okay.
send you a link. Yeah.
Okay, great. We'll put it into Reddit. Your girlfriend paid $27 to ship a 7-pound box across the country to California. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'm not sure. Sorry, that question wasn't clear to me, Paul. Let's see. eBay should not charge final value fees on the seller's cost of postage. That is also true. They also do know how much postage costs.
Yeah, I mean it's tricky. I mean people are still going to try to game it, so it's just easier for them administratively just to say yeah, just on the total value. I don't know the solution to that problem because somebody will game it. Like even if yeah, I mean especially if you buy the label from them, they know how much it costs, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know the answer to that question.
Laura Love's asking a great question. Is Fitshipper mainly for high volume sellers, or is it also good for the average seller?
No, I think that's how we got in this conversation. You had a chat
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube, and a couple of your people said, well, this guy over here has got a warehouse. Of course, he needs ShipStation. He probably does. But I only, I'm a smaller seller. I don't need shipping software. And my reply to that is, if you ship 5 things a week, you will benefit from shipping software because that's getting into like one a day. Every day you're shipping something. How much time does it take? And are there cost savings as well? So at $5 a month and potentially $1, $2, $10 savings on priority packages, you don't have to sell much at all to enjoy using Fitshipper labels, for example.
I want to also bring up sort of an advanced tip because Paul has mentioned that you're one of the only people that talks about if you build free shipping into your items, sometimes it makes you uncompetitive locally. I 100% agree with you, but I know multiple sellers that actually have different accounts on different coasts for this very reason. So, for example, if you have a 5-pound item and it's in New York, and it's in California, right? You want to have it close to the coast so you can save on shipping. But also, something that people overlook is the time is factored into the search ranking. So
Right.
if an item is closer to you, it's going to rank higher if it's the same price usually. So it's important to realize it's not just that it makes you uncompetitive price wise. You may because of where you live, if you set your handling time too far out, or
Yeah.
everything matters,
Yeah, I mean, if you live in Hawaii, right,
right?
and you're zone 8 to everyone else,
Hmm.
and your shipping time is high, and if let's assume eBay's search algorithm is working correctly, and it figures out like this guy's the same price, but this one's 100 miles away, and this guy's in Hawaii, then we'll put the closer guy first. Yeah, there's you got the hand you're dealt, and you have to work around it. So. Most eBay sellers I'm familiar with aren't in the position to have warehouses on both coast or anywhere really, or do use a 3P
Hmm.
fulfillment. But if you get into that and you're selling volume of something that you buy wholesale or produce or whatever, then it starts making sense to look at a 3P with multiple locations and stuff like that. And then you can start competing with Amazon. But if you were, pulling stuff out of your garage and shipping it after work, can't pretend
I
you're Amazon at that point, I guess.
I am so happy I have you on my show because every time I have a large seller on my show, I get all this heat because people are like, why even have large sellers on the show if most of us are small sellers?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, well, it doesn't mean we can't take advantage of the same things in certain cases, like
Yeah, if you
this.
can. Yeah, this is you know, like I said, things have gotten more competitive recently, but at the time when I found this is a pretty big difference in the rates because I think there's one example I wanted to give because I've seen your show and stuff. You've got the priority shoebox
Hmm.
ships by weight, right?
Hmm. That's
And
right.
if you use the dimensions for this, the way it sits, it's cubic tier 4, which
Hmm.
means it's above zero point 0.3 cubic feet and below zero point 0.4 cubic feet, and there's a rate chart for that. But if you resize the box, if you take an inch and a half
Hmm.
from here, and you can, if your shoe will fit, and that size, that knocks it down to a tier 3 or tier 0.3. So it's almost exact. It's actually 1.5 inches shorter, right? And
Right.
then you can ship up to 20 pounds in this for the tier 3 rates. And if you give me a second, I'll tell you what the range is.
Let's take a
So,
look.
so, so that's pretty much, any pair of shoes, is going to weigh less than that. So tier 0.3 goes from 719 up to 1076. So you can ship anything that will fit in this box up to 20 pounds for less than $11 coast to coast,
Wow.
right? Versus 3 pounds at 3 pounds for like a heavier pair of shoes to zone 8, which would be New York to California. That's normally 1488. So 1076 versus 1488 for something that weighs between 2 and 3 pounds coast to coast. That's cubic rate.
No, I think that's super, super informative. Is there any other tips or tricks that you want to share when it comes to shipping? We've covered a lot of stuff, so you guys may want to watch this more than one time because there's a lot of eh, explanations in here. Especially like most people don't even understand what goes into the shipping rate.
Yeah. So I see lots and lots of shipping questions
Hmm.
on Facebook, and 98% of them can be solved by one of my free shipping calculators
Mm.
on Flipper Tools, which is just a free site. Anybody can go there. There's no subscription. You don't have to log in. There are two shipping calculators on flippertools.com. One is called Fitshipper, and one is called Fitshipper for listing. And I name everything Fitshipper. So I only have one name for all my products. So Fitshipper, the original Fitshipper calculator is you've got a thing, you're trying to figure out how to ship it, and you know where it's going to go, or you're going to guess at where it's going to go. You can put in the dimensions of the item, and it'll tell you which box to use. It'll tell you the cheapest box, the best cheapest box. And people were like, that's great and everything, but when I'm listing, I don't know where the item's going to go. So I don't know which of these options to choose. Should I choose FedEx? Should I choose priority? So there's another calculator called Fitshipper for listing. And what it does is you tell it the rough, dimensions. You can tell it if it fits in a large flat rate or not, or whatever. You can do it that way instead of entering dimensions and a weight. And it will look up all the prices for all the carriers, for all the zones, all at once. And it'll tell you the cheapest price per carrier for all 8 shipping zones. So, well, what a lot of times is you'll find out is it's way cheaper to ship FedEx if it's going far. It's cheaper to ship priority if it's going close, or whatever. But what it does tell you is what's the range, what's the minimum, what's the maximum, which carriers are cheaper depending on what the distance is. And it does all that at once. So it actually does like 30 price lookups simultaneously and then gives you the answer.
Well, what is your background?
So I'm in software. I've got a computer science degree. I have a day job, a regular day job in like healthcare, doing programming. And my uncle got laid off from his job one year. They were doing eBay part-time. They went full-time, and he talked me into trying it out. And I started selling vintage video game consoles, repairs, stuff like that. And so yeah, I do a little bit of everything. And like I said, I developed the Flipper Tools site as just like a hobby for a couple of years. I was doing that, and then I discovered how to get this cubic rate prices, and decided I should go ahead and make that a thing people could get. So that's basically my background.
I also appreciate that you let the people in my mastermind group, the people who are in the calls, test your software, and I do think they're going to be hopefully valuable in giving you some insight. Hopefully, you can make some improvements or give you some insight on how it works, because all of those people are full time, so you can get an idea.
Yeah. So if anyone that's in your paid mastermind group would like to try out Fitshipper, have them sign up or register. Send me an email. I'll probably have to work out some way to verify they're actually in your mastermind. And I will coupon their account for a year. They can use Fitshipper for a year for free.
Awesome. Thank you. I highly, highly appreciate that. And hopefully we can give you 10 times the value. And I hope everyone out there tries this tool out, guys. And also, if you want to come see us in Kansas City in a couple of weeks, there's still tickets left at resellerfam.com. And I'd like to get some resources from you so we can give them out at the event, because we're giving we're giving gift bags to everyone. So I want to, get everybody on board so that we can get more people using this tool, because I think the whole world survives on entrepreneurs. We gotta support each other.
Thanks. And one advantage that Fitshipper has that no other shipping softwares have is I take feedback really seriously. I had a lady who had signed up for a trial. She told me that on a Dymo 4XL that the margins were off. It was cutting off the very top of the label. No one's ever mentioned it before, but it bothered her. So I bought a Dymo 4XL printer on Amazon and had it shipped to my house. And then I figured out, how to fix that specifically for that problem, because I'm sure someone else is annoyed by that and hasn't mentioned it.
Wow.
So and so by the next Monday, she emailed me on Thursday. By Monday, Dymo 4XL was working perfectly. So you get a little bit different level of service, and I'm also it's really hard. I'm competing against multi-billion-dollar corporations, and so the only way I can possibly make it is to make my product better. And so I'm always looking for suggestions, like how can we make this better? So.
No, I love it. It's kind of like it's much higher than just a duct tape solution, but it just all these great ideas start there, and then you always have so much accessibility when companies are small. I've been trying to work with eBay on some different projects, and they're so big.
Yeah.
And like getting some T-shirts to give away requires more than one signature. So I mean, it's just a big moving thing. It's not that simple.
I've found a lot of bugs with the eBay hat or different little weird things.
Yeah.
And it's super hard because it's like, I need to talk to the person that writes the software that handles the shipping. And like, I don't have that phone number, right?
Right.
So I'm like, send up smoke signals like, please, like there's a problem. You guys, trying to get it through to them is very difficult. So
Yeah, finding even the right person in the right channel to get through there is going to be pretty challenging. So guys, I'm going to do a couple of follow-up videos to this using Fitshipper. So I'll sign up for it. I'll go through it. I'll actually ship a package using the tool so you guys can see. Because I've been doing a lot of literal hand-holding videos all the way through to show people how things are done. Don't be afraid of cubic shipping. I get it. You're used to your ways, but for $2 a package, it's definitely worth it to check it out. Cool. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you on another episode. I appreciate your time, Josh, and hopefully it can help you out. Take care.
hey, thanks so much. Bye bye.